These authorities obtained his beatification, despite the arduous procedures of sanctification. The third instead advocated his permanent insertion in the canon of saints, in other words, canonization.
There
were two miracles that contributed to his beatification. The first was Elsa Raimondi, who was 26 years old when she was diagnosed with a serious form of tubercular peritonitis. She was recovered in the hospital of Lendinara on April the 16th, 1946. The doctors performed an exploratory operation, but they were forced to stop immediately, declaring her inoperable. This was the period right after the war. The same ailment that could be cured with antibiotics today deteriorated to the point that the young woman was nearly dying. On July the 30th, the anniversary of Father Leopoldo's death, Elsa's parish priest brought her a relic and biography of the Capuchin. The same day, Elsa began a novena with her family, which she continued until the 12th of September, when she miraculously healed and all her symptoms unexpectedly disappeared. There was no longer a single sign that she'd been so ill. A miraculous and permanent recovery, as medical experts certified in 1951. This was redeclared in 1965 as a premise for Father Leopoldo's beatification. The second miracle that was acknowledged toward Father Leopoldo's beatification took place in March 1962. The story takes place when the 60-year-old Paolo Castelli from Merate, Lecco, started feeling sharp pains in his lower abdomen. He was taken to the emergency room, and after opening his peritoneum, they discovered a massive infarct of the mesentery due to thrombosis of the mesenteric vessels, including a part of the small intestine. A lesion so severe and widespread that the doctors had to forego any sort of surgery. The only prognosis, in fact, was death. The patient was in stationary critical condition for 3 days, until the fourth night, March the 8th. When he had a violent attack. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, and his wife, votary of Father Leopoldo, was at his side. Before the operation, she sewed a medal onto her husband's shirt and continually prayed to Saint Leopoldo, imploring her husband's recovery. When her husband declared that he was about to die, his wife responded, "No, you aren't going to die, because Father Leopoldo is going to heal you." Just then, her husband lost consciousness for a few minutes, only to wake up later with no more signs of illness. The doctors confirmed an instant, miraculous recovery with no further relapses. A miraculous recovery, as the ecclesiastical experts declare, solely attributable to the intercession of Father Leopoldo. That's why in 1976, Pope Paul VI in St. Peter's Square in Rome proclaimed the beatitude of Father Leopoldo Mandić, elevating him to the honours of the altars. Who is he? Who is the man whose blessed name gathers us here today to celebrate this irradiation of Christ's gospel? Take a good look. It's a poor little Capuchin friar with the eyes of a Franciscan. Do you see him? Are you trembling? Who did you see? Yes. Let's say it's a weak servant of the people, and yet an authentic image of Christ. So, once again, who is this man? It's Father Leopoldo. That's right, the servant of God, Father Leopoldo of Castelnuovo. Here in Padua, in the Santa Croce sanctuary, in this marble tomb, so much larger than the minute Capuchin friar, lie the remains of Saint Leopoldo Mandić. Yes, saint, because just 7 years after his beatification, the Church officially recognized that other miracles took place with the intercession of Blessed Leopoldo. To pass from beatification to the Church's official list of venerable saints, a new canonical process must be initiated to recognize a miraculous event that takes place with their saintly intercession after beatification. For the canonization of Saint Leopoldo, the event that was examined and recognized as his saintly intercession was the miraculous recovery of Elisabetta Penzolotto on March the 29th, 1977. Elisabetta was 57 years old with a long history of hospitalization when she was recovered in the Ala City Hospital in Trento, Italy, for severe heart problems. For 27 days, the patient was in excruciating pain. On the 27th evening, the patient's leg was so swollen and discolored that it looked like a block of marble. The pain continued to get worse. Previous therapy prevented blockage of the femoral artery, but now the effect wore off. By now the artery was completely closed. The 28th evening the situation got even worse, and I called the head physician. He came to our room and took a look at her leg and ordered immediate surgery. Otherwise she would not make it another day. Elizabeth refused to be operated on and told them that they could do what they needed to do the next morning. The following day at 6 in the morning, the nurse told me to come down and let my wife tell me the good news. How is the pain? It's all gone. What do you mean it's all gone? And I pulled down the sheets to look. Now, I must say that at the time I'd been in the medical profession for 34 years, but I was nevertheless amazed. The leg I saw was not at all a sick leg. There was absolutely no trace of gangrene forming. So what happened? And she replied, "Oh, nothing. A friar came into my room. You know, that little one." And what did he say? She said, "Nothing. He just walked around my bed and looked at me. Then he smiled and said, 'Elisabetta, don't worry, they're not going to cut off your leg.'" Even in this case, her recovery was instantaneous, complete, and unexplainable. This was reconfirmed 4 years after the original medical examination, when the apostolic process was in course. And so, one Sunday morning, on October the 16th, 1983, Pope John Paul II, in St. Peter's Square, proclaimed his sainthood and listed the name Saint Leopoldo Mandić in the canon of saints, and he did so exalting him with these words. In the end, what vestiges did Saint Leopoldo inherit? Who and what did he live for? He inherited all the brothers and sisters that lost God, along with any love and hope. Poor men and women who needed God. The God they invoked, imploring his forgiveness, his comfort, his peace and serenity. St. Leopoldo's message is still alive, today more than ever. Faith, have faith, is vital for us today too. His face still infuses trust and strength. His protection is more efficient than ever for all those who turn to him.